Got a penalty flag down.
Skip pass sets up Gabord, and it's time to pluck a chicken.
Walden.
Score another one here.
Right on cue, he goes upstairs.
Levine with some speed. Levine fakes a pass. Levine all the way is going to fire and score.
Up top, Druin. He wants a shot, and he's got it! Wow! But a good one-handed scoop up.
Oh, Roy, and then he lights the lamp. Lowers that left shoulder and fires up the Cougar fans. Look at this.
Nice play.
Fake shot by Brunzik, and then he drills it on his way to the ground.
Chase. Extra feed.
Shot, score, game over. Bouvier upstairs. He atones.
Redemption.
35 seconds. Collins is open. The bouncing shot is going to win the game for Portsmouth.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome here to North Andover. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you, getting set for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. It's the Bishop Guertin Cardinals taking on the St. John's Eagles. Another chapter in this interstate rivalry. Two of the best programs in New England on center stage tonight. We'll begin with Bishop Guertin, the four-time defending NHIAA Division I champion under head coach Brian Cameron. They are 1-0 officially on the year. Just game number 2, still very early in the campaign for the Cardinals. They were 18-5 winners over Londonderry back on Monday to begin the season. St. John's Prep, a little further down the road. They're 5-1. They play in the Catholic Conference in the MIAA Division I. And again, one of the more highly touted units year to year in the state of Massachusetts. So this one, anyone's guess here. Two big programs going head-to-head in mid-April.
Yeah, and five-time defending champions, SJP. And, excellent team, well-coached. And if you look out on the field, Nick, look at the numbers on the rosters. I mean, it's 50-plus guys on each. But St. John's, this is their place. This is their field. They love having home field serve here. And Bishop Guertin has been here several times. I've been here as a parent of a BG player. And it's always a ferocious battle when these two teams get busy together.
Well, give us some things to watch here. It's obviously going to be a good night. No rain in the forecast. Temperatures still in the 60s here as the sun begins to set. A lot of talent, a lot of future NCAA lacrosse players on the field tonight. What's going to be the key differences for both teams?
I kind of looked at I've talked to both coaches, and I know Brian pretty well, and we all coach in Tomahawks together. I looked out at the tail of the tape, and I've identified 3 things. FOGO, face off, get off the field, essentially. And you've got a battle of an excellent player in Will Crawford for the Eagles, and then for the Cardinals, battle of birds here, you've got young guys, 2 first-year players, 1 reclassed. But we've got deeply experienced, high-level face-off guy at one position, one side of the field, 2 young guys at the other. But Hugh Rourke, who has lacrosse DNA, he is doing a D1 job per Brian Cameron. He'd know. He played at North Carolina and Rutgers. The second, we have elite short-stick defensive midfielders on both teams. I mean, they are elite. They're all playing at a high level, and that's going to be an interesting battle to see how they stop the dodging, the defensive chaos they can create, and then they all have elite speed to lead a break or off a turnover or something like that.
And, of course, the goaltending. Always big as well. What do we look for there?
Well, as a goalie, I like the mechanics. Jonah Feliciano in net for the Cardinals. He has become a true goalie. He was looking, he was developing last year, especially in the first half of last year, but that's part of life. And I was watching him against Falmouth, the scrimmage the other day, quality team out of Maine, and he was moving beautifully. The mechanics were there. He does not get happy feet. Other end of the field, interesting, uncommon, but not crazy uncommon, is splitting the goalie time. You've got Matthias Duplessis, terrific player. He's a senior. They're both seniors. And Max Putney, who's going to Bentley, and he is an outstanding athlete. Duplessis, for his part, is going to play at Vassar, and they both played on 3D Club. One guy is all about rebound control. One guy has elite hand-eye and quickness to the ball. It should be a fascinating goalie.
A good problem to have if you're John Pynchon.
Sure.
11th season now on the sidelines.
It means you can have a full
St.
field
John's.
practice.
All right, coming up, Starting lineups, national anthem, and then game time at the top of the hour here at Merrimack College. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, and it's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited, their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited, their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
A little AC/DC to set the tone here at Merrimack College as we get set for a battle. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Bishop Guertin and St. John's, two of the regional powers here, year in, year out. These two teams met on this field last year. That was a St. John's victory. The Cardinals hoping for payback tonight.
Yeah, it was 13-5, and it was close until it wasn't. And I don't know if you covered that one. But
we did.
Yeah, it was the wheels kind of came off the bus for BG in the second half. They won't forget it, but you got to learn from it and burn the tape and move on. You've got more experience now in the Cardinals. The Eagles have a little bit of a youth movement. You got a midi core that's developing. D-poles are having to step up, but they're led by some stalwart, short stick D middies, and excellent goaltending. Always a great place to start, Nick.
Well, we should be in store for a good one. We've got good weather. 64 degrees here. Partially cloudy. Rain was in the forecast earlier in the week, but that is cleared up, and we should be good to go.
And this is going to be fun to watch.
It's A.J. Plant, the junior, at the face-off X for Coach Brian Cameron's Bishop Guertin Cardinals. And again, going up against Will Crawford, the senior one of Massachusetts' best face-off men.
Oh, they got
This
Hugh
one-
Rourke at the dot.
Oh, it's Rourke, 25,
not AJ
29.
Plant.
You're right.
Yeah, the
Hugh Rourke, the
jerseys
freshman.
are all bunched up.
Anyway, it's a Crawford win, and we are underway here in the first quarter. First crack goes to St. John's. They're in the gray uniforms with Navy numbers and Navy helmet. Of course, Bishop Guertin in their road greens.
Tough to see those. They got the old football uniform style, the mesh. Tough to see those Navy numerals as it gets darker. We'll do our best for you.
Well, a little bit of space given behind the cage. Two men going to play catch here as St. John's opening possession continues. This is Josh Barton, one of their veterans, another senior. Now a far side one-on-one. Thinking about the shot, but nowhere to go. Good smothering defense as J.P. Dunsmore was with him.
Great runners in the Dunsmore family. And you're going to see what we call pick and pairs.
It's the junior Beckett Lee on the wing.
Yeah, he's headed for Denver. Terrific player. I watched him play against both BC High and Zavarian.
One of several NCAA-bound players for both teams as Barton loses his balance. And after a lengthy possession, we have a turnover. It's the long pole racing down. Gabriel Sini, the senior for Bishop Guertin, finally gets rid of it as Sean McGarry, one of Bishop Guertin's star seniors, takes over.
I got to coach Sean back in the day in Hollis Brookline Youth Lacrosse. He's a great kid, and he's going to Bentley, and they're excellent in D2.
Nearly 2 minutes in, Bishop Guertin on the attack for the first time. Hudson Schmidt going to go across the zone. Up top, Jack Redfern with his eye on the cage. Now a near side pass for Cam Hayden. Hayden looking to get free. Shot there on the run. Ends up getting sent back by the defense.
Cam Hayden has a wicked left, and you just saw it in full bore right there. I tell you, big shooters, so if the Eagles pack it in tight, Nick, big shooters on the outside for BG, they can handle it.
So another trip here for the Eagles. St. John's Prep looks to crack this scoreless tie here. Opening minutes from Merrimack College. This one, of course, counts against both records, right? The overall and the NHIAA record if you're Bishop Guertin.
Yeah, it used to be the other way around, and it's frustrating
Right.
because you couldn't get, good out-of-state game or two just to test yourself before, in-conference play.
Meanwhile, Ryan McCarthy, little two-man game here. This is Bo Manoge, a bouncer, ends up wide. Took a pretty good hit there out in front of the cage.
And that was good D by Hudson Schmidt. Hung in there till the bitter end, altered the shot. Nice job. Number
Manoge able
24.
to bounce right back up.
Yep.
As play continues on this end of the field. Another trip for St. John's.
And you see Dunsmore take away the middle of the field. That is classic positional defense. Right out of Dave Scott from Hopkins. Bible on the book.
Yeah, a little turnaround. Quick release there from Beckett Lee.
Yeah, he's got the rollback. He is ambidextrous, according to his coach, John Pynchon. And that is why, my friend, he is headed up to Denver. Very creative.
Manoge coming downhill. The defender awaits. That's Schmidt. And this pass is off the target.
Nice job by Hudson Schmidt again. Just bumped him at the pass moment, and that disrupted the rhythm and trajectory of that pass. So that little bump right there took him off his line.
Second turnover for the Eagles. Cardinals, meanwhile, complete the clear. It's Dunsmore going to come jogging along the far side wing. Nearly 4 minutes in, no score. Bishop Guertin's second possession. Owen King, senior, back out. Hayden headed to Penn State. Going to flip it over now. Little room in the middle of the field for Drew Redfern.
I'll tell you, Hayden's playing a lot of attack, but he all-state as a midi. What a flexible player. Swiss Army knife.
Had quite the season last year as a junior. Here he is on the run. The shot there goes high.
And you can't even see that. As a goalie, sometimes that's when I grit my teeth and go, yikes, here it comes.
Well, Redfern on the restart. Comes off the screen, trying to turn the corner. Picked up off the switch by Will Goff, one of the standout juniors for St. John's.
Yeah, really, he is. But this kid, Redfern, can really play. Sophomore, high IQ. Learned from his big brother.
Lacrosse family for sure. McGarry trying to muscle his way along the far side, dropping that left shoulder, but Not a lot of room to give. Hayden going to dance. Going to keep the defender at bay. One hand on the stick, launches a pass out of the sky and out of bounds, trying to find Hudson Schmidt. So we've seen pressure really applied, Rich, on both ends here so far, nearly 5 minutes in.
Yeah, and Ryan Doherty, he had good distance from away from a fast dodger, and what did he do? He lifted the gloves as he threw the pass. Sailed on him. Nice defense.
Manoj splits defenders at midfield. St. John's trying to get something going here as the defense does recover in time. Now the Eagles will switch up the personnel.
I was watching Coach Pynchon, and particularly against Zavarian. They are outstanding at the substitution game, both in placement on the field and timing, and they get a lot of breathing room that way.
St. John's 5-1. The lone loss to BC High that ended a 52-game win streak, by the way. It was a one-goal game, 5-4.
Yeah, it was a slow churning kind of game. Lots of defense, but the BC goalie had himself a day and a half.
Still no score here as we near the midway point of the opening period. Another extended trip for BC High. Here's a shot and a score.
Yeah.
That one comes from up top as Ryan McCarthy lights the lamp. It's 1-0 Eagles.
And the word on him, he's a finisher. And he's going to Utah, and we just saw why. That was a BB and a half. Well done.
Great placement as well, top shelf. As you can see they're able to pull it back and let it loose.
And Tyler McLeod, who is just an outstanding All-American caliber player, just couldn't catch up with that one. He's going down to UMBC, my old stomping grounds, to join his last year teammate, Paulo Vasquez. Remember the great face-off guy?
That's right.
Yep.
4-year starter.
A fantastic player. That is a beautiful goose from the dot by a freshman.
Scooped up on the long pole for Bishop Guertin. Thomas Clancy. BG going to operate out of their own end here as they look to cross midfield. They trail 1-0. So we hit the midway point first quarter. Yeah, this one lofted over the top. Shot on the run from the long pole is swallowed up.
Yeah.
First stop in net tonight from Max Putney, the Bentley-bound senior. Keeps it a 1-0 game.
Yeah, he had a clear look at it all the way, and he didn't even flinch.
It was Tyler McLeod on the shot, by the way, the long pole senior defender for Bishop Guertin. Here's McLeod on the wing, going one-on-one. Defensively with the man who just scored the goal a moment ago, Ryan McCarthy. Looking for back-to-back scoring trips here. This one whizzes past the goaltender and out of play.
That was quite a rip and roll. Oh, that was Crawford. See, those jersey numbers are hard to see. Maybe by design so they can't get scouted.
Well, here's 27. We know that. That's Chase Brown, the junior.
Yeah, you and I are young enough to see that far.
And now McCarthy wants to clear it out. Wants a one-on-one here with Finn Murphy. Picked up off the switch, and the pass goes back to the far side. 5 minutes to go, first quarter. 1-0 St. John's. Looking to double the advantage here.
Nice pass-off defense right there.
Defenders continue to communicate.
And look at the motion right now for St. John's.
This is Max Crawford behind the net. Going to make a move towards the pole. Hacked at there by Andre Steinbrueck, junior defender, one of Bishop Guertin's better athletes.
Fantastic athletes, played quarterback, basketball, can do it all.
Lee gets some room, shot, and score.
Wow.
Beckett Lee. Patient trip there. Finally, the C's part on the wing. He takes advantage to make it 2-0.
That was just a rip. There's nothing, not a whole lot you can do about that.
So Beckett Lee follows up his teammate Ryan McCarthy with a goal here in the first quarter, inside of 5 minutes. So Bishop Guertin looking for an answer here in a 2-0 hole.
Well, I saw him play against Falmouth. It was a scrimmage, but I was saying to myself, their D looked in mid-season form already. They look a little bit disheveled tonight to start the game. I think they'll get back in gear. Luke Soames is the D coordinator, and he's a terrific coach.
So 2-0, and now after a ground ball battle, St. John's comes up with it. Bo Manoj takes a hit at midfield. And finally gets the pass off before tumbling to the ground. Picked up off the turf by Lee, swung behind the cage. St. John's threatening to make it 3-0. Shot on the move, bouncer for a score.
What a
Great
move.
placement there. It's Ty Tolo, senior attack. So when it rains, it pours at this point. St. John's Prep rolling on the attack to a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, I was watching him play, and his two attack mates, if you see this move, look at that. He elevates, gets himself away from Elijah Zeman, who's a big, strong kid, and then creates a little bit of room, gets his hands vertical, back of the net, 5-hole.
So two of the goals come 30 seconds apart. And it's 3-0. One of the lights here in North Andover. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Here's a win for the freshmen.
They needed that.
Hugh Rourke able to scoop it himself for Bishop Guertin. Long pass intercepted. Yeah. Got a whistle and a timeout first before the pass was thrown.
Oh, boy.
You can hear Coach Pynchon arguing at midfield, not happy with the officials, but BG head coach Brian Cameron got the timeout in just in time.
That was a high-quality timeout, you know. As we've discussed in other broadcasts, I'm a ref, and it's not easy to make sure you hear it. You got to stay close to the coach when he wants a timeout, and you got to give him the benefit of the doubt sometimes.
Comes with 3:38 to go in this opening quarter. Our broadcast tonight is brought to you by the New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girlsNHTomahawks.com is the website there. Of course, also by Beals Insurance, locations in Bedford, Londonderry, and Epping. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance gets you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. By MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. So visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally, by Jewett Construction. Come join us to build something great. Planning, architecture, construction management. Proud sponsors of their trade scholarship program. Find out more at jewettconstruction.com. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough here in the press box at Merrimack College, Dwayne Field, where Bishop Guertin is in an early 3-0 lead in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Cardinals looking to crack the code here on offense. St. John's look good on the attack. BG with just their fourth possession. Pass back door, ends up behind the cage for Owen King. He's clamped up by the bigger defender. King trying to spin away, fires a bouncer, and now a foot race on the far side for the loose ball. Ends up going to St. John's.
Problem was nobody was mirroring him behind the cage. When he rolled back, he did that twister. I don't think anybody expected the shot, nobody to back it up.
Inside of 3 minutes here, first quarter. St. John's with goals from McCarthy, Lee, and Tolo. Defender going to bring it himself across midfield, get away from King. That's the long pole, Will Goff.
He's a good player. I was watching his style the other day against BC.
And now McCarthy scored the opening goal.
Here's a guy that's got to get going if you're on the Cardinals, is Tyler McLeod right there, wearing number 17. Excellent player. Like I said, he's headed to UMBC. Time for him to elevate. Drag the guys with him.
Meanwhile, Paul Kaczynski, young sophomore, getting some time here. Looking for a backdoor pass. Ends up on the ground, but scooped up behind the net. Now cycled back to the near wing. McCarthy spins to his right, trying to get away from the defender, McLeod. Finds a shooter on the wing. That bouncer goes wide for Barton. Out of play, but backed up again by the Eagles.
And you can see how the Eagles are set up. We talk a lot about two-man game. They have 3 sets of two-man game. It's pick down, pick high, away from the ball.
Seeing it here behind the cage.
Yeah.
Lee. And now up top, high slot McCarthy, nothing there. Final 2 minutes, first quarter. St. John's threatening to extend the 3-0 lead. Backdoor, Barton, catch and shoot. Paid the price, ended up on the turf, but a quick catching fire there.
Yeah, that was smooth.
And back out again for Kaczynski. Final $1.20 here, first quarter.
Good
Kaczynski.
defense by Duaney right there.
Yeah, that's Hunter Duaney bodying him up. Meanwhile, room here for Barton. He's going to cash in top shelf. Shot and score makes it 4-0 with 1:19 remaining in this opening quarter.
That was just another bombs away shot. They're doing exactly what they haven't done, which is against better defenses, converting goals early. And Feliciano thought that was coming high to low, and he got down on one knee and watched it sail by his upper right shoulder there. That's very difficult.
So 4 goals from 4 different goal scorers. With the Eagles flying high here in the opening period. 4-0 over Bishop Guertin. Face-off win for Crawford. The senior did it himself. Crawford meets J.P. Dunsmore head-on before giving up the ball. St. John's looks to settle back in. Coach Pynchon going to get some new guys on the field. One of them is right here with a step-down shot that flies overhead out of play.
Well, and there was your substitution game right there. He had a 6-yard head start on him, and it was, for that moment, it was 6-on-5.
That was the sophomore Max Crawford.
Good player.
Mac, I'm sorry. We have Mac.
Right.
And, of course, we have Will, the face-off man. Mac, the sophomore, Will, the senior. There's a turnaround. That one flies over the crossbar. Final 44 seconds here. Cardinals hoping to come up with a defensive stand and limit the damage. St. John's would love to go up 5.
Won't go in the scorebook, but Steinbrook got a nice lift on that shot right there and sent it high.
Manoj challenged on the far wing. Now behind the net again. Mac Crawford. Turn and shoot. And that laser goes wide.
Boy, they get north of GLE in a hurry, don't these Eagles, Nick?
They do. A lot of speed, as we talked about at the top of the broadcast, and star power for both teams. A lot of future NCAA players here for 2 of the elite programs in New England. Right now, St. Joe's, they've gotten the better of the Cardinals in this first quarter. That shot over the shoulder and out of play. This time, it's Bishop Guertin possession.
Yeah, and Ryan McCarthy has that in the toolbox there, that B2B, the back-to-back, behind the back, excuse me.
Giving it a ride here is McLeod. That one ends up in the net of the goaltender. That's a save for Max.
I'm a goalie. I'll give him a save.
Max Putney going to make his second one, and that'll do it for the first quarter. A good start for St. John's Prep. They've got a 4-0 lead over Bishop Guertin. The Cardinals look to respond when we come back. Second quarter next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Face-off win for Will Crawford evens the team category at 3 apiece. as we begin the second quarter here in North Andover. Nick Anastas along with Will McDonough. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. I think I called you Will McDonough.
You did.
Rich, of course.
I always wanted my mom to have named me William. So thanks, man.
We're here at Dwayne Field, and we've got a 4-0 lead, Rich.
Just don't call me Dwayne McDonough.
You got a 4-0 lead on the board for St. John's. What's been the key so far in this first half?
Passing and team speed on the offensive end. The face-offs, BG had the better of it, even with the first-year player. But team speed and that first step, and then the nobody hedging for BG, and the slides have come late a couple times. Recipe for a 4-0 game right there.
4 unassisted goals in that first quarter.
Right.
For St. John's. They've got a 5-1 overall record. They're going to stretch the lead here to 5-0. Another one unassisted. Second one for Josh Barton. Teased it up from the wing. And right now, it's all going St. John's way early, 5-0.
That didn't take long, did it, Nick?
Goal comes just over a minute gone by in the second quarter. Pretty good defense there, just a better shot and score.
I mean, their shooting velocity is just proving really difficult for Jonah Feliciano in the goal. As great as his hand-eye was that I saw in the first half the other day, just played the first half, and he's just struggling to see it or find it. A lot of goalies would. There's another win, huge.
Crawford going to keep it himself, fire on the move. A little wide, a little right, and out of play, but backed up by St. John's.
I think, it's one of those things. As a goalie myself, I played at Fairfield and Georgetown. Had all the Stags watching tonight. There were a bunch of guys watching. I sent them the link. But, all you need, sometimes you just need that one stop and you get in rhythm.
A lot of eyes from across the region tuned in for this one. As the New Hampshire Power takes on one of the prep traditional champions anyway. Certainly another contender in 2026 in St. John's.
Yeah, their loss to BC notwithstanding.
Right.
Given what we're seeing tonight, I don't think they were themselves. Either that or they've discovered it since.
Meanwhile, shot ends up jammed up top for Minoj. An awkward release there, flies out of play behind the cage.
Well, and then Clancy just took one for the team right there. He ate that in the middle.
A little confusion here on the upcoming restart. Nearly 2 minutes in, second quarter. And again, 2 men behind the cage.
Yep, and you got
for the Eagles, 2 defenders in the area.
And you got pairs high and pairs mid.
Cycle it near side. Grady Doherty with a touch. McCarthy fans it to his left, and around the horn it goes. Up top, Minoj knocked down. Flag going to come out. Dwayne to the defender there. Game's first penalty on the way. We have a goal. Lock and load for Grady Doherty, the junior, able to cock back and fire there to make it 6-0.
Hunter Duaney, he was going to get the penalty. It'll be wiped out because it was a push. I think BG kind of looked stunned for that moment, as if they were waiting for the call to come right away. Everybody just stopped, froze, and that left a lot of room, and we've seen it. Even these guys at 12 yards out, no light, no problem. Back of the net.
So it's 6-0. Meanwhile, Dunsmore swarmed after collecting the ground ball on the wing. The senior going to keep it himself and try and find some breathing room finally. Secures another face-off. That's been even so far, Rich, at X. But seems like the offensive possessions have come few and far between if you're BG.
And then they've thrown a couple balls skyward right now. There
you go is right. Owen King going to pump his fist in celebration. Got free. Good one-on-one move by the senior. And he beats the goaltender low to get Bishop Guertin on the board.
Well, he's got those mechanics. He gets a great first step, and once he gets north of GLA and without a whole lot of help, still backing away, he still creates space. He's got himself about a yard of room once he keeps going north. And that's what I tell kids around here. I mean, we're in Tom Brady land. And they know, climb the pocket. That buys yourself some time and space. And King is fantastic at that, and that is why he's going to Lemoyne.
Yep. First teamer last year as well, All-State as a junior. And a big part of that championship DNA for Coach Brian Cameron.
There you go,
over the last
50-50 balls. Oh, BG had it, lost it.
Coming out is Ranger Gregg. That's the freshman. Shot out of the crowd like a rocket there to ensure the St. John's possession. Now we get a timeout from Coach Pynchon. And it comes here with just over 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter.
That's a pretty good timeout. Here, BG was, could you feel the electricity coming up from the Cardinals side? Yeah, they finally got off the schneid. I said the goalie has to make a save to get in rhythm. Sometimes you just get one in the back of the cage and you find yourself again. So Pynchon wins a good face-off where it looked like BG might pick that up. Guys get possession, they get into the offensive zone, call a TO, and let's get your boys. Don't let them back in the game. Put the boot on the neck.
Meanwhile, how can Bishop Guertin find their way moving forward? They get the goal, they get a little bit of that momentum that you mentioned. How can they capitalize on that over the final 8+ minutes?
Well, right now they need a good defensive series. They need a stop, whether it's a save or a caused turnover or an unforced error. We'll take that too. But they've got to communicate and just elevate their own game internally. And I think their seniors really are going to have to lift this team up. Sometimes you got to put the team on your back and carry them for a few minutes. Then you get a stop, realize that you can score as well. You've got terrific scorers. If you're down 4, maybe 3, you feel better.
St. John's in game number 7, and right now in midseason form. Goals in that first quarter from Ryan McCarthy, Beckett Lee, Ty Tolo, and Josh Barton. Barton added a second to begin the second quarter. Grady Doherty stretched the St. John's lead to 6-0 before Owen King of Bishop Guertin got the Cardinals on the board. So that is where we are, 6-1, a little over 3 minutes gone by in this second quarter. Two of the premier programs in New England meeting here at Merrimack College.
My guess is BG feels a little astonished. They're not used to this.
Just game number 2 for the Cardinals. They beat Londonderry to open the season back on Monday by a score of 18-5. Little one-on-one here. The defender is Dunsmore.
It's a
little
fantastic
contact.
Short stick.
Yeah.
Good switch.
Good balance by Kaczynski, the sophomore, to keep it and absorb the hit. Now St. John's looks to restart. Duaney is going to stick with McCarthy on the far wing.
Here
Barton comes over, for the pick.
Denied.
Good communications here by the Cardinals. Kaczynski now going to toil on the near side. And behind the cage we go.
Look, Hunter Duaney just elevated his game. That was a harassing defensive series for him right there.
By the way, Bishop Guertin has made a switch in the net. Jordan LeClaire, the junior, is now between the pipes for the first time, replacing the starter Jonah Feliciano.
And he is a big guy. They call him Big Ticket.
He's a presence between the pipes. Meanwhile, Kaczynski drops it back door, but nobody home. Scooped up instead by Dunsmore off the bounce, and Bishop Guertin able to create a turnover there.
And I will tell you, for Jonah Feliciano, sometimes you got to pull him out because it psychologically doesn't work. And then you can get down on yourself, and the next one is tough, the next one is tougher, the next one is even tougher, and you can get in your own head. Sometimes you need to reset. Sometimes you let the other guy ride the rest of the way.
Certainly one of the tougher positions in all of sports, in my opinion.
The toughest.
One of them. I said one of them.
Well, all my buddies in Stagland are watching, and
meanwhile,
they're tough too.
Cardinals with an extended possession of their own. This is Jack Redfern, the sophomore.
Excellent player.
And now it goes over to Drew Redfern. Swung around the horn for King. King at the goal a moment ago, looking for a second on a bouncer. Goaltender is out in the foot race, and it pays off as St. John's able to get possession.
Yeah, he got a piece of that with his with the outside of his stick, I believe. Let's see. Oh, it was his heel. Good save, and then he ran it out. Nobody behind again.
Fourth stop for Max Putney, the senior, who's now out of the cage again, helping out on the clear here. That's the long pole who's going to cross midfield. Good job by Will Goff. The attack takes over. They look out front, and there's the cash in on the doorstep.
Tic-tac goal. It was just too easy.
Score it for Will Quigley The junior becomes the 6th different goal scorer of this first half for St. John's as the Eagles rebuild a 6-goal edge, 7-1.
Look how wide open he is down below. Just coming across the island to island, leaping score, just too much.
So Quigley with his first.
And Coach Pynchon loves Will Quigley.
Midway through second quarter, 7-1 St. John's. Manoj versus Duaney here. Also in the mix for the Cardinals is Alex Tower, this freshman. In the end, it ends up again with the Eagles.
Now they really need a good defensive series, Nick.
This is Quigley going to dance near midfield. Takes the clock under 6 minutes to go until halftime. This one is rolled near side. Brandon Ward going to take over here. I haven't seen much of Ward so far. Meanwhile, Matt Crawford trying to test the fences here. That shot ends up wide of the target, not a play.
Good short tick D there by Finn Murphy. He just drove him north and north and north. By the time he released that, he was fading away, pulled it to his right.
Back up top. Tolo has one of the goals for St. John's. Going to draw a slide. Short pass. Ends up near the cage. Back near side. PG trying to recover. Shot comes on the run. It's knocked away.
It's an important save right there.
Save there for LeClaire. That fires up the sideline. And then flag is going to fly. See Gabriel Cini, the senior long pole for Bishop Guertin. He went flying there. Not sure if he was tripped or not, but a penalty is on the way.
Yep. That's our first.
All right, so it's on Quigley, and you're right. It's the first accepted penalty.
A called penalty. The
Called
other
penalty.
one, pushing, is wiped out on a goal.
Right. Surprised we've been pretty much whistle-free here, given the physical nature of this first half, but indeed, the game's first penalty comes with just over 5 minutes to play in the second quarter.
With Prep's pace, there haven't been many whistles needed.
Right.
All right, but this is huge for BG. They need to put one in the back of the twine right here.
First EMO either way. McGarry, step down, shot there, a bouncer, and again, a little bit wide. As it goes over the head of the goaltender. Restart. Hayden fakes. Now it goes across the zone. McGarry, that one a good save.
And that's St. John's. That was a pipe. That was a pipe.
Was
Goalie's
it?
best friend.
I thought it may have been kicked, but you're right.
If he kick saved, then that was one of the best kick saves of the century. We'll see here. But McGarry's got a really good shot.
Meanwhile, there's a hit at midfield that's going to cause the officials to blow the whistle and throw the flag. Grady Doherty absorbing the check there, but it's going to go against Bishop Guertin.
Yeah, after that replay, I'm giving him a save. Good eyes, Nick.
McLeod, by the way, in the box. So this one on the heels. No, we still have some time remaining on the
Yeah, we should.
on the St. John's penalty.
Yeah, they don't have a penalty clock here. Unlike the other night where that was really helpful.
So there's a man in each box here for the next few seconds. Inside of 5 minutes, creeping towards 4 to go in this first half. St. John scored the first 6 goals of the game. Led 4-0 after 1. BG's lone goal from Owen King came about 3 minutes into this second quarter. Will Quigley had the quick answer, and here we are at 7-1. 1-on-1. Lee looking. Hooks up with Crawford up top. Back to Lee, who's going to backpedal. EMO here. As we saw Quigley in the box just seconds ago. So the Cardinals in a zone talking. St. John's taking their time. Work at Kaczynski.
They're trying to draw people off the crease so they have a dodge. Yes, you can dodge a zone. Just ask Bill Tierney.
We're back to even strength as Duaney comes hustling back in. This shot from a tough angle ends up out of play in the near corner.
Man, that one was sizzling.
Coach Pynchon. A little bit of confusion on the sideline. Finally sends in Thomas Randall, the senior. A little dancing. Mac Crawford pull the trigger himself.
Hit off the big guy's grill.
Yeah, you could hear it make contact from up here in the press box. Just over 3 minutes now to go until halftime. Coming up at halftime, stats, highlights, analysis, recap of that first half, and a look at the out-of-town scoreboard as well. It's coming up at halftime. Here's a shot and a score. That one was pretty. Kaczynski.
Yeah.
The sophomore has been involved in this first half. He gets his first goal with just over 3 minutes remaining to extend the lead to 8-1 St. John's.
And you'll see the big fella off the pipe here. See, he stepped early. You want to hang on to your pipe, hold your pipe, force him north of you, if you will. And good shooters will see a little bit of goalie movement, or at least hope for it. And then if you got 3 or 4 inches room with a guy who knows how to jump shot like that, there's no doubt. The big guy's got, he doesn't get the top reps right there, but he's got to learn to hold pipe and let him, he's got to dictate where he wants them to shoot. Easier said than done, but it's possible.
Kaczynski is the 7th different goal scorer here in the first half. That gives you an idea of the depth that Coach Pynchon has been able to work with.
Right, I think Josh Barton's the only one with more than one.
Right.
Yeah, he had the 2 in a row, right?
That bridged the first and second quarters.
Oh, Nick, you're good.
Meanwhile, little backstepping here for Schmidt. Now going to go to his right. Got the long pole nearby. And now Jack Redfern takes over. Cardinals looking to cash in here, make the most of the final 2.5 minutes before the break.
They've got to find a way to go wing to wing with their passing speed. Bang!
Back door, and it's finished. That's a tough angle shot for Drew Redfern, the senior. Cardinals going to swing back here as Drew lights the lamp. 8-2, 2:26 to go before the break.
Did you see how fast? You see the pace of that pass, Nick? I mean, it got high to low in a hurry, and nobody could rotate fast enough to close that gap.
Jack Redfern to Drew Redfern for the score.
Probably done that in the backyard at home a few times. Got to get this face right here.
As we mentioned, the Redferns from an athletic family on both the boys and the girls side.
That is an awesome play by Tyler McLeod for that face-off win.
Able to fan it ahead and then scoop it on the ground to secure the possession. And now it's Owen King. Looks for a one-on-one against the long pole, Will Goff. Trying to back Goff down in the post.
Boom.
Turns the corner, fires. That one wide. Backed up by McGarry. It'll stay with the Cardinals with just over 2 minutes to go in this first half.
Now, King has made 3 or 4 of those moves, Nick, in this quarter. Maybe he's getting himself into some rhythm.
Here is King. Headed to Lemoyne. Back to McGarry, and then back up top. You can hear Coach Cameron. Second season, he's trying to direct the traffic here. He likes what he sees. Jack Redfern, sophomore, got the assist a moment ago. He says, now it's my turn. Able to score along that far post to make it 8-3.
Huge, and they must have seen something so they could get their lefties freed up. And they created a long slide from the top side, and there was nobody crashing down from the top, so you were missing help underneath. And once these Redfern kids, as quick as they are, wide receivers, and then beautiful jump stop, again, near post, got to lock off.
You see the Bedford native flexing his muscles, celebrating with his teammates. Cardinals have scored 2 in a row. Trying to win the face-off, and they will.
And
it's the freshman,
they got a timeout in hand.
And he's going to use it.
There it is.
Coach Cameron will stop the clock with 1:32 remaining. And again, you can hear that BG sideline. They're fired up. Facing their largest deficit just a moment ago when it was 8-1. Back-to-back goals has BG feeling okay here with 1:32 to go.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. And even if you don't score on this possession, maybe chew some clock. You don't want to give it back to St. John's. Not on this field. And as we've seen, they've got quick strike capability all over the field. So eat some clock, maybe go with 25 seconds or something like that, And then even if you manufacture 2 good looks at it, you feel good because you exited toward halftime with a couple in pocket and a little bit of mojo, and that's important. But again, really good timeout. You had a first-year player winning a good face-off, wasn't sure whether he should keep going or back in, and he was backing into trouble. We saw that. So it was a little bit of a bailout, but it's a perfect time for a face-off.
What have we seen over the last What have we seen over the last couple of minutes that has helped BG turn the corner?
Some good defense, and I think it started with their shorties. Tyler McLeod has gotten himself on track on the defensive end. He's their physical, spiritual leader. And then, hey, the big guy comes in. Weren't stellar saves. He was just taking up space, but it's a save nonetheless, and you feel good about that.
That's the junior goaltender, Jordan LeClaire.
Yeah, the big ticket.
After Coach Cameron made the switch midway through that second quarter.
And I'm not the biggest guy on earth, but I stood next to him the other day. He's a giant.
All right. Cardinals, out of the timeout, are going to see an errant pass go across midfield and out of bounds.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what you can't have happen. And now they've got a $120. That's a lot of time, Nick.
Eagles looking to go pedal to the metal here after the quick restart. Cardinals, though, recover defensively. Final minute 10 here, second quarter. St. John's has played with the lead throughout. They've scored the first 6 goals of the game, but this is another errant pass.
And guess who forced it? Tyler McLeod.
There you go.
Big lift check right there.
Cardinals in transition. They go out front, and there's the cash in.
That's
Hudson Schmidt, one of the senior veterans. Right place, right time. Pass is on time and on the money. And suddenly BG has strung together 3 straight to cut into the St. John's lead 8-4.
Well, I don't know if it was the bus ride in what became kind of chilly, but they have awakened. And that was a great double look. Declined to feed the first guy. Huddy was cutting down that slot. Lights out pass too. Look at the accuracy here. Handle, finish, and couldn't close the gap with the recovery there.
Meanwhile,
that'll be a
big hit that brings the whistle, and not appreciating it was Hugh Rourke, the BG freshman.
And he had possession, no call.
He's gone chin to chin with one of New England's best in Will Crawford here tonight.
45 seconds. Just give it up. See if you can get one substitution, get your face-off guys off.
Coach Cameron raising his right arm, signifying the play here as we're down to 30 seconds.
Nice job. They got everybody on.
Schmidt scored a moment ago. Forced to give it up. As Drew Redfern takes over. Now back to Schmidt. Down to 20 seconds. Near side, ready to shoot is Jack Redfern, but that one off target.
Did you see him? He catches it loaded. I mean, that means in shooting position, just caught it, rip.
17 seconds. King with the restart. Behind the net. BG looking for one more before halftime.
Oh,
nobody home. Looking back towards his left, fires a pass that ends up out of bounds.
And it's over and back. You know, the moisture is changing as it gets colder. That can affect your webbing.
Final seconds here before halftime. St. John's now threatening. McCarthy from up top. That one jammed up on the release, and it ends up out of play. That'll do it for the first half as St. John's got out to a fast start. Led at 1 point late in the second quarter by a score of 8-1, but the last 3 goals go to Bishop Guertin. 8-4 is our score at halftime. Coming up, full recap, stats, highlights, and analysis. And look ahead at the second half, plus an out-of-town scoreboard watch here. Still opening week in the state of New Hampshire, so we'll get some Thursday night scores, hopefully your way as well. 8-4, St. John's leading Bishop Guertin at halftime. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
8-4 at halftime. St. John's with a decent lead over Bishop Guertin. It was 8-1 midway through the second quarter before the Cardinals strung 3 straight to cut into the gap. So we've got a 4-goal difference at the break. Nick Anastas, along with Rich McDonough. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. St. John's put the hammer down early, as I mentioned. 4 goals in that first quarter from 4 different goal scorers, all unassisted. They stretched the lead to 6-zip early in the second quarter. Goals from Ryan McCarthy, Beckett Lee, Ty Tolo, and then 2 for Josh Barton, followed up by a 6th from Grady Doherty. 6-0 at that point. Owen King got BG on the board. Will Quigley had an answer. Paul Skaczynski stretched the Eagles' advantage to 8-1. Then it was Drew Redfern, Jack Redfern, and Hudson Schmidt to give the Cardinals a little bit of momentum here, perhaps, to begin the second half.
If you're wearing green, you sure hope so. They started looking like themselves, I think. Credit St. John's with really suffocating them in that first quarter in particular, and maybe the first 5 minutes of play in the second. And, they created their own momentum, did the Eagles. And then we saw a barrage of absolute marksmanship from the various shooters for St. John's. And that was something, I saw some Zavarian Brothers game that they played, maybe a half of it, and then a quarter against the BC High Eagles. And they were not doing this. They weren't ripping it like that. One of my keys to the game, you can see it, is they've got to generate the looks and finish. And tonight they were finishing. They kind of stalled a little toward the end of that second period, but they're alive and well here, and it comes at the face-off dot.
How do our team stats look?
Yeah, 8-7 in favor of BG. So the first-year guy held his own. You got ground balls at 9-8 in favor of BG, and then the save battle had a goalie switch, and he, the big fella, big ticket came in, LeClaire, and he got himself a couple of saves acquitting
Shot
himself.
And score.
Bang.
As Bo Manoj runs the gauntlet there after a lengthy scrap at face-off X. Manoj immersions and goes down and pulls the trigger himself. So Manoj going to get his first goal. We have another goal scorer for St. John's, and that's the way the Eagles were hoping to open up this third quarter, just 16 seconds in.
Terrific run. He's headed to Lafayette and just showed that he's got game right there. And you see Jonah Feliciano's back in the game for the Cardinals.
Starting goaltender, the senior, is back in after leaving, replaced by LeClaire midway through the second quarter. So 9-4 our score. Well, a violation is going to give this to BG. Dunsmore on a quick restart. Cycle it back near side for Jack Redfern. Schmidt takes over. Now BG on their first possession of the third quarter, looking to get things going on the attack. Any adjustments you foresee, Rich, in the second half either way?
No.
As we see this one eaten up.
BG found its rhythm. They've started doing BG things. St. John's just played a really good first half. You've always got to be yourselves.
Owen King got BG on the board midway through that second quarter. Jack Redfern, sophomore, has played well. Trying to dance with the long pole defender here, forced to get rid of it. Now Drew Redfern giving room near side, back of the cage for Owen King. Looks for a pick, comes near side. Good job by the defender staying with it. King's shot is swallowed up high.
Yeah, he was counting on a screen right there, high to high. Well looked in. We had that goalie change that we talked about and predicted. Matthias Duplessis is in, and that was just high to high, easy read for him over the top.
Matthias Duplessis, who along with Max Putney, are both seniors, both very good, and both college commits as goaltenders. Yeah, St. John's back on the attack here with a 9-4 lead, 2 minutes in third quarter. Sorry, Rich.
No, it's all right. We had Putney, he's going to Bentley, and Duplessis to Vassar. No shortage of intellect there.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, both teams, that's something that doesn't get enough attention. They're not only good athletes, they're good scholar athletes as well. Year in and year out, these two programs, proud of that fact. Meanwhile, this shot from Lee, a bouncer that goes wide.
Well, that was a nice look because he had Hunter Duaney on his hip, and he was screening Feliciano in the cage. He'll try it again. Eventually hit pay dirt.
Here's Ty Tolo. One-on-one against the BG long pole, Nico Baviello. Cardinal defense hanging in here. Long possession for St. John's. Little one-on-one, and the ball comes out. Duaney is there to scoop it up.
And there are the adjacent short stick D midfielders that we discussed, and there goes Duaney.
Yeah, streaking down the sidelines, comes up with the clear. Long plow McLeod comes near side of the wing for Hayden, the Penn State commit. Going to jog to safety here in front of his head coach. Now, given the green light from Brian Cameron, goes back door, left side. He's got a man on his hip, and the ball is out again. Loose along the far baseline, and we have a whistle.
I mean, you had a switch going on so they could double far side, but you're overcooking the grits. Just bounce it outside toward the sideline, go to space, and have somebody trail with some serious speed and just give it back.
Meanwhile, on the clear, Gavin Lyons, the junior midfielder, gets the job done. Now Lee splits defenders, comes middle, goes back door. We have a shot and a stop by Feliciano.
That was a beautiful behind-the-back pass. That was first class.
Let's set up the look. You see there, over the shoulder, behind the back, and then McCarthy, who got the scoring started back in the first quarter.
That's why he'll be playing for the Pioneers right there next year.
Meanwhile, McLeod finds Drew Redfern, clear complete for BG. They trail 9-4 with 4 minutes gone by in this third quarter. Drew Redfern being hounded by Kevin Correa, the senior midfielder. And now taking a low pass behind the cage is King. Going to dance, make a move to his right, fire a shot. It was ricocheted and then collapsed upon by the goaltender. That's a save for Duplessis.
I think he got the piece of the initial shot and then deflected it into the pipe. Fortuitous, to say the least.
Right.
It's Catholic school, they must have the rosary beads going.
Able to scramble and keep that one out. Duplessis, his second save since coming into the game at halftime.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, St. John's going to pump the brakes here. Coach Pynchon wants to make a personnel change as Josh Barton going to skip to his right here, being challenged by Dunsmore.
And you see the speed on their substitutions.
5 minutes gone by, third quarter. St. John's has played with the lead throughout the night, looking for their sixth win of the season. BG 1-0 after a win back on Monday to open the season over Londonderry. Coming all the way back to the head of the bench is Brandon Ward, senior, now given the green light. Fakes his way around Duaney. The bouncer may have been redirected there by Feliciano, ends up out of bounds.
Duaney had a beautiful butt check right there from behind. Nice trail. I got to coach him back in the day. He's a great kid. And, of course, headed to, Mercyhurst.
Headed towards the midway point, third quarter. McCarthy. Good move to free himself up, but that shot wide right and out of play.
That was a lights-out jab step. And faked a, all-American caliber athlete out of his socks.
Meanwhile, the Eagles go back up top here. Lengthy possession as we move towards 6 minutes to play in this third quarter. Barton. Duaney on him like a cheap suit here. Barton going to dish it back over.
Oh, he's a classy kid. How about an expensive suit?
Well, far side again. Try their luck here. Dunsmore is the defender. Little two-man game, but nothing cooking there for Tolo. Back behind the net.
And the short stick, as advertised, as we discussed, Nick, at the beginning, have played really well tonight.
Barton lowers the left shoulder, pulls the trigger from straight away, and that one out of play, but backed up again by the Eagles.
Yeah, he broke his stick. Big swing by McLeod.
So Barton comes off. Kaczynski, the sophomore, comes on. 9 goals tonight from 8 different scores.
That's impressive.
For St. John's. got out to a 6-0 lead in the first half. It was 8-4 at halftime. 9-4 as we creep towards the 5-minute mark, third quarter. And we got a moving pick here.
Yep, exactly.
Right in front of the official, goal line extended, easy call. BG now with the ball.
That'll get him home to dinner quickly.
It was a fast-moving first half. I think it clocked in at just under 45 minutes. Only one penalty tonight, Rich.
We might get home before midnight.
We've got a bit of a drive, right? This one, of course, at Merrimack College here in North Andover.
Great.
Interstate battle between two regional powers. MIAA champion versus NHI AA champion.
And Merrimack always puts on a good show. Their staff are fantastic.
Appreciate working with Cam and his guys. Coach, he was up here earlier too. Coach Schiamana.
Oh, yeah, he was doing a terrific job.
Yep.
Very good man.
Formerly of St. A's, now the head coach at Merrimack College. Meanwhile, Hayden released that one. It was fortunate to be backed up by King. King on the restart can't find his man. Too high for Cooper Paquette and turned over near midfield.
That's their game, though. They can draw two, and they excel at long passes. That one just escaped him. Don't be dismayed if you're wearing green. Keep trying that one.
Tough angle shot here, jammed up as well. It sails out of bounds.
That was an awesome piece of work by Elijah Zeman, the big guy, 45. He got a piece of that as he crashed down from topside. Hand-eye is off the charts right there.
Zeman, the junior long pole. He's played well tonight.
His father's a ref as well, and a teacher at BG.
There you go. Meanwhile, another personnel switch from Coach Pynchon. As the attack here for St. John's has been patient in this third quarter. Just one goal to show since halftime, but they've unofficially outshot the Cardinals here in the third quarter. And have had the ball more often than not.
And they're just using in the entire half of the field, and it just wears the defense out, Nick.
Here's Lee. Long pole, Steinbruick meeting him, chasing him, forcing him to give it up. Now handled on the far side.
You saw Steinbruck's athleticism on display right there. Elevated quickly.
Inside of 4 minutes, third quarter. Lee looking for a screen, double teamed, escapes, gets knocked down, crowd goes wild, flag goes out. McCarthy, shot, rebound, shot, and score. On the putback weak side, it's Mac Crawford. Sophomore midfielder. They're going to pick up the penalty, count the goal, and it's 10-4 St. John's.
I don't know why they'd pick up the penalty there because he hit him high and it was blindsided. That could be the only call, which would be a personal foul, but we'll see. And it was McLeod doing the damage.
They're going to count the goal.
Yep.
And they are going to count the penalty.
Yep.
I spoke too soon. It's Dunsmore, I believe, in the box.
Yeah, it was a high hit.
Coach Brian Cameron getting an explanation. Comes with 3:28 to go here in the third quarter. And it's also the second goal tonight for Matt Crawford. And the dialogue continues along the sideline.
Well, it was just frenetic on the backside of that play after, the penalty and the hit. Got to stay in the moment.
Meanwhile, the freshman continues to hold his own. Hugh Rourke, but he is mowed down. Ball comes out. He's fortunate that Bishop Guertin gets to it. And they're on the attack end here is Hayden being chased by the defender Ryan Doherty. Doherty, the long pole, going to follow him all the way to midfield here.
Yeah, this time
second defender in the area as well.
He almost stepped over there. This time they ran away instead of just jamming it down the alley where he got double teamed and stripped the last time they were trying to get the substitution going.
Yeah, you can see St. John's keeping an eye on him. There's a second defender behind, trying to contain the Penn State commit. They have kept him off the scoreboard tonight.
That's unusual, to say the least.
Hayden trying to force the issue, gets knocked down, and there's a flag.
That's 30. Hey, don't fight back.
Trying to hack at it from the ground. The whistle finally sounds. And the second St. John's penalty of the game is on the way.
He's taken some hard hits tonight, and
Yep.
it was showing in his running, his gait, that is.
Kevin Correa,
Ooh.
the senior.
I wouldn't
for
bet
the
against
penalty.
cross-check.
Meanwhile, still a man in the box for Bishop Guertin. I thought it was Dunsmore. No, it's Cooper Paquette.
Yeah, he's in the in-home right now, so he's
Okay,
serving.
so yeah.
He's serving
He's
for
serving
whether it was Dunsmore or
Dunsmore's penalty, I believe.
Yeah.
Now he's coming back on. He only had to wait 2 seconds after the restart. So Paquette is out there. It's an EMO for Bishop Guertin. Their second tonight. I never actually saw Dunsmore sit down, I suppose. That's what caused the confusion. Meanwhile, Hayden, tough angle there, ends up out of bounds, but will stay with the Cardinals here. 2:10 to go, third quarter.
And Hayden, PSU recruit, All-American, and he can hit either corner right there. I'd say keep doing it.
A little bit of room up top. Jack Redfern surveying the options. The senior Owen King takes over. King gets it right back. Now up top to the sophomore. Backdoor shot. Hayden sent back.
Fantastic save.
Another stop for Duplessis, who's looked good in this third quarter. Another one. Waves the wand low. That one ends up in the night sky. Hayden trying to find it near the baseline. And will restart after it goes out of bounds.
He just put a foot on the baseline. There it is.
That one wide.
Oh.
Trying to find Paquette out in front. Back to even strength. St. John's kills off the penalty. Final minute 20 here, third quarter. A 10-4 lead on the board for St. John's. Cardinals looking for their fifth of the night. King lost his stick.
Totally de-twigged right there. What a great strip by, couldn't catch the
I think it was
back.
Will Goff.
Yeah, I think so.
The junior long pole. Meanwhile, transition opportunity. Shot there. Comes on the run and a little bit too high. Bishop Guertin trying to scramble here personnel-wise as the defense looks to get back.
Just saw that replay of the de-twigging.
Yeah, good play by Goff. He's looked good tonight.
No, very good.
He's done his job defensively. Meanwhile, Lee, a pinball here, goes off the post.
Wow. Again, goalie.
This one's going to ricochet back to midfield. It's scooped up on the move by Brandon Ward.
How about the speed there to collect that one?
Shot out of a cannon to get to that ground ball.
38 seconds. Here we go. One trip right now.
St. John's looking to capitalize on what's been a good third quarter. They led 8-4 at halftime. A chance for their third goal of the third quarter if they can sneak it in here. Final 20-plus seconds. Near side, McCarthy catches a floater. Defender trying to shade him. Comes off the pick and roll, goes back door, but the pass was dropped near the cage. Loose in front, scooped up in the crease by BG. We're down to 5 seconds. Zeman going to slow it down. And now giving it a ride is Steinbruick all the way down the field. And that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. 10-4 St. John's. They stretch their halftime lead with a couple of goals in that frame from Beau Minogue and Mac Crawford. And right now are perhaps 12 minutes away from another victory. Is that the case, or does BG come back in the fourth quarter? We find out next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Well, we're back here live in North Andover, where Bishop Guertin faces a big deficit here to begin the fourth quarter. St. John's with a 10-4 lead. We have a flag here. Jack Redfern in traffic pulls the trigger. Penalty on the way. We've seen 2 each way through the first 3 quarters.
Man, they started offside right there.
Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. No, it's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Still getting used to that. And it may take some time. But anyway, 6-0 at one point. St. John's, they score the first 6 out of the gate. They stretch the lead to 8-1 before BG made it competitive late in that second quarter by scoring 3 straight. 8-4 our score at halftime. 2 goals for St. John's in the third quarter. The Cardinals were kept off the scoreboard. They turn it over here. So what's been the key to success in this second half so far for St. John's?
I think they just punched back. They did, and then the kid came off the bench, that's Duplessis, and he made 4 outstanding saves, and there's a good one by Feliciano. He needed that. But when you have a goalie come in hot off the bench, I never like splitting time just because it threw me out of my rhythm, but that's personal. It just fires up your team, and it allowed the team, the Eagles, to punch back.
Yeah, and we've seen both head coaches use 2 different goaltenders tonight. As Max Putney got the start, made 5 stops in that first half for St. John's. In the third quarter, Mateo Duplessis comes on and gets 3 of his own. And as we mentioned with Bishop Guertin, the senior Feliciano got the start, removed in favor of the junior Leclerc midway through the second quarter, but comes back to start the second half.
And Jonah just made another one
and
right there.
gets another save right there. So he's got a handful of stops tonight. But
Didn't have
10-4.
any in his first half debut.
10-4 our score. St. John's looking to improve to 6-1 overall. For Bishop Guertin, it's just their second game of the season after beating Londonderry, an in-state opponent, to open the year.
And BG eventually is going to have to press out a bit.
Shot, score. And then somersault. A little bit shaken up on the landing, but they'll take it. That's a hat trick, by the way, for Josh Barton, the senior.
Had himself a night.
But he is shaken up. See there, limited room against the defender Schmidt, but finds just enough to his right. Beats Feliciano with a blazer and then lands awkwardly.
Awkwardly, yeah. I was looking to see if Hutch and Schmidt helped him out. I don't think so. It happens. But that was a heck of a sweep and shot.
Barton leading St. John's tonight with 3 goals. And that's also 3 unanswered goals now. By Eagles, they'll win at midfield off the face-off.
Big win.
As Minoj able to secure it. Find a little bit of green grass here in the near corner. Helping him out is Thomas Randall, the senior. Randall being harassed by Thomas Clancy, the defender for Bishop Guertin. And now finally taking over up top once again is McCarthy. It was McCarthy who started the party for St. John, scored the initial goal back in the first quarter, and he's looked good tonight.
Very
throughout
smooth,
the game.
Smooth runner, and just wizardry with his stick skills.
Of course, St. John's has spread the wealth tonight with 8 different goal scorers. Here's another one.
It's just too much.
That one from the far side, and another sniper shot. That's Brandon Ward.
Yep.
Senior has elevated his game here in the second half. His first goal, and now a 4-goal run by St. John's has opened up their lead to 12-4.
You know, it's interesting. We talked, Nick, out of the gate about last year. It was close enough, and then the wheels fell off the bus. There have been moments when the wheels have fallen off the bus for BG, and Brian Cameron and company are going to have some film work to do, take this apart and learn from it. It's a good win.
Yep. It's the freshman Rourke. Helped out on the wing by Murphy, the sophomore. Now Murphy looking to protect with the stick in his right hand. Being shadowed by Michael Quigley, the senior midfielder for St. John's. Meanwhile, 3 minutes have gone by here in this fourth quarter. St. John's has their largest lead of the night at 12-4.
Well, I think you need 3 goals in 3 minutes. But you got guys right now in the game who aren't getting a ton of reps. You know, I see Jackson Warren in there right now.
Schmidt, or Hayden rather, he's a starter, but that shot knocked down and smothered by Duplessis.
Canaway is in.
His 4th save of this second half. Duplessis looking to help out on the ride. Skip pass taken by the long pole here. That clock is ticking. Trying to swim upstream. This is Doherty. No, this is Nate Frasca.
Frasca there,
the
yeah.
sophomore, yep.
They're those football jerseys.
And he's triple teamed and stripped at midfield. Good defensive effort there. That's Tommy Canaway, the junior. And again, a shot easy to track there on the wing, stopped by, again, Duplessis.
Multi-generational Canaway family at BG.
Right.
That could sail.
Duplessis trying to hook up with somebody there. One of 2 options on the far sideline, but neither one able to come up with the catch.
Well, you were going with the press ride right there, and it forces a long pass, and it leads to errors. We saw one. They're going to do a lot more of that in a whole hurry. Nick Anastas, no question about it.
4 minutes gone by already in this fourth quarter. Feliciano all the way to midfield himself, the goaltender. Finds Dunsmore in the middle of the field. Cardinals looking for their first goal since halftime.
You got to find a way to spread them out and open up some green space and then cut like your life depends on it right now.
Jack Redfern, the sophomore, trying to shake his way away from the defender Minogue. Now Hayden.
Oh.
Screen was blown up, and that draws the flag.
Yep, can't do that.
It's the young sophomore Redfern sacrificing the body. The defender pushed him down in front of the official.
Yeah, I think it was Doherty who's getting that one.
3rd penalty tonight against St. John's, 2nd of the second half.
Yeah, unnecessary, so you get a 1 minute.
That's the long pole defender Ryan Doherty, as you said.
Yeah,
his left knee down on the turf inside the penalty box. Comes nearly 5 minutes into this fourth quarter. 3rd EMO of the night for BG. We've not been able to score on a man up yet.
St. John's D has been terrific tonight. Nothing more I can say about that.
Yeah.
Young guys have stepped up, and they're maturing quickly.
Hayden left alone for the moment. Goes up top. Shot from the wing is in the net.
Bombs away.
Owen King, his 2nd tonight. Senior co-captain. Going to make it now a 12-5 ball game as he scores the EMO goal for Bishop Guertin.
Too little, too late, perhaps, though, Nick. It's a long hill to climb. 7 goals with 6:50 remaining.
But you like what you see on special teams there if you're Coach Brian Cameron.
Absolutely, and that's their game right there. I mean, they've got amazing lefty shooters, and they've got an awesome righty shooter in Sean McGarry. It just hasn't been there with that packed-in Eagles defense tonight. Props to them.
Meanwhile, Crawford against Rourke.
Wow, what a win.
Crawford using his muscles there. He outruns 2 defenders. He finds the man in front, and the shot is a score.
Seeing eye goal. I mean, it's almost like they were angry that last goal occurred.
The assist there for Crawford. And the lead is right back to 8 at 13-5. So we see Crawford draw the attention, and then back door trying to get the number. Was that Quigley, 32?
It's just so hard to see on these football jerseys.
Get the goal there. Either way, it's a St. John's score. I think it may have been Quigley.
I'll go with it. But that little bully ball at the faceoff dot just now for Crawford turned it into a numbers game.
It's been a physical matchup between the senior Crawford and the freshman Rourke.
All right,
meanwhile, we have a violation. They're going to exchange some pleasantries on the way to the sideline. It's going to be BG possession. There's been a lot of chatter tonight between those two. Dunsmore on the restart. Make sure his guys are set as Schmidt joins him on the field. We're nearing the midway point fourth quarter. Time of the essence here. Still big lead on the board for St. John's, 13-5.
And we do have confirmation that it was Quigley on that one.
Okay.
Thanks to our folks in the booth or in the field.
It's a SOS note from our director, Ben Beals. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. That's Quigley's second, by the way, tonight.
Yeah.
All right, Cardinals trying to diagnose here. Going to reset up top. It's King looks up with Schmidt near wing. Defender right on his pocket. Dancing right, draws a slide, comes up top. McGarry fans it to his right. Hayden, good dodge, shot, and score.
Wow.
Cam Hayden been contained tonight, but you can't keep a player that good down for long. The Penn State commit finds the back of the net. His first goal makes it 13-6.
Well, and we avoided having a repeat score of 13-5 from last year.
Good point.
Once in a while I get a point right. But, Cam Hayden, one thing he did, he had the slide coming at him. Did you see him get his stick vertical, just perpendicular or parallel with his body? That is an old Jim Berkman Salisbury close spaces drill. Good win right there.
Yeah, Rourke thought about going all the way. U-turns instead and jogs off the field after getting rid of the ball. Cardinals in possession again. We move towards 5 minutes to play in regulation. 13-6, the St. John's lead. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Been a fun opening week for us here on the air. A couple of broadcasts already in the bag. You can check those out under our video section on our YouTube channel, FNLNH Media. Shot, score. Turning the corner and looking for the hat trick. That's Owen King, and that's what he does, scores goals. The Lemoyne commit now with a hat trick tonight, 13-7. As King, nobody told him to lay down. He's still swinging here late in the fourth quarter.
No, he's a big-time athlete, which means he's got a lot of heart and a lot of guts, but they still have a lot of points in front of them. 6 goals to say that, but 2 goals, 39 seconds apart.
Right.
I've seen it done, Nick.
Yep. And of course, still early in the season for the Cardinals. Just their second game. They beat Londonderry Monday night. But I'm sure internally, Coach Cameron and his staff still looking for things here over the final 5 minutes.
Without a doubt, yeah, but that's a good point. The Eagles are a third of the way through their season, so they are pushing into form, and people have been frustrated that they haven't been the Eagles they know, and maybe they're figuring themselves out. That's good job, and it's good coaching, and it's just ownership by the players.
They went on a 52-game win streak, as you pointed out earlier, Rich. That impressive streak was ended earlier this season. The only loss for St. John's came against BC High.
Well, Marcus Craigwell is a heck of a coach there at BC High.
Right.
Old Bucknell fella.
But a win tonight for St. John's would improve them overall to 6-1. Meanwhile, Hayden back to the cage. Man on his hit is Doherty.
Schmidt was begging for it right there.
And they finally cycle it near side. McGarry draws a slide, absorbs a check, goes back door, but can't find Schmidt. This ball ends up out of bounds.
And he stayed on his gloves. So McGarry went north. They let a little switch where Schmidt went down low toward the island right there. And because his defender stayed on his gloves, couldn't get the beautiful pass, even though Schmidt was wide open.
Couple of hits here at midfield. The ball is jarred loose, and it's picked up by Tyler McLeod for BG. Up ahead, McGarry. Stopped by Duplessis. Wow.
Another big save.
Yep. He ends up with the ball in the crease. He's looked good in this second half. Did not play prior to halftime.
And that's their design. But it's been the quality of his saves, Nick, that are just amazing.
Half a dozen by our count.
Yep.
In this second half. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking down. We're nearing 3 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. St. John's looking to cap off what would be a wire-to-wire win here at Merrimack College. They jumped out in front 6-0 at one point in the second quarter. Held an 8-4 lead at halftime. Stretched that out to 10-4 after 3. And it's been pretty back and forth here in this fourth quarter so far.
Right.
13-7 our current score. Kaczynski, shake and bake, back door, tough catch, shot, save. Feliciano trying to find it in the crease. The ball's going to roll near side, and there's the long pole, Tom Clancy for BG.
A good save.
And Feliciano's 6 stops of his own, all in this second half.
Ooh, that was a buddy ball right there.
That ball stays in bounds along the sideline in front of our cameraman, Matt Beals. This one is stripped.
Did they get a TO?
Timeout.
They're the Camerons right there. Brian Cameron's all over that one.
Yep.
Like a cheap suit.
Timeout comes here with 2:18. As you can see, he sensed this guy was in trouble and bails him out from the sideline. So the timeout, 2:17 to play here in the fourth quarter. Our broadcast tonight is brought to you by the New Hampshire Tomahawks Showcase and Development for College Lacrosse. Find out more at nhtomahawks.com and also girls.nhtomahawks.com. Also by Beals Insurance. Locations now in Bedford, Londonderry, and Epping. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. By MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally, by Jewett Construction. Come join us to build something great. Planning, architecture, construction management, and proud sponsors of their trades scholarship program as well. Apply now at jewettconstruction.com. Nick Anastas, along with Rich McDonough. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Win or lose, kind of a measuring stick game early in the season for both of these teams. They're going to return to in-state play, of course, next week. But what do you think will be the prime lessons learned for these two squads?
If I'm St. John's and Coach Pynchon, I'm loving that we get into some rhythm against a high quality opponent. And, the rap on them starting the season was that they were sluggish, couldn't manufacture the good looks and convert. Not the case tonight. And then but they have a brutal schedule coming up, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure. At BG, yeah, it's early. It's only their second game. They weren't challenged in the first. And, they've got a long way to go. The only 4 losses they had last year were out of state.
Of course, they have not lost to a in-state opponent since 2019 when
Haley's
they fell
Comet,
in the championship against Pinkerton. They have won 4 straight NHIAA Division I state championships, looking for 5 in a row this spring. This one won't get through. It's knocked down by the defender and then scooped up, I believe, by the same defender, Kevin Correa.
Yep.
The senior with a good play, a good pass on the run. He hooks up with Manoj. Manoj has room. Manoj, shot, and score.
Boy.
Bo Manoj running wild here in the fourth quarter. Scores his second goal of the second half. And now St. John's doubling up Bishop Guertin 14-7.
Clinic.
Well, that was some impressive end-to-end action there. First the pass from Correa made it look easy, and then Quigley to his right, watching as his teammate Bo Manoj goes right down the alley. Fires on the run to beat Feliciano inside that left pipe.
And the short stick D, great combo right there. But that's the thing with Manoj. He's going to Lafayette, and he's regarded as a really good two-way player, even though he's primarily short stick D.
St. John's off the face-off, looking for another in transition. That shot sent back by the defender. Taken by the long pole and then thrown blindly towards the net. This ball ends up out of bounds in the far corner and back over to the Cardinals with 1:16 to play in this fourth quarter. Coming up after the game, stats, highlights, analysis, full recap as we put an end to opening week here on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire.
It's been fun. It's been busy, Nick.
It has been. 3 broadcasts out of the gate. You can watch all those on our video section, of course, on our YouTube channel, FNLNH Media.
Being watched in Scottsdale, Arizona by my friends, and
cool stuff tonight.
Chuck fighting the good fight out there.
Yeah, you mentioned you have viewers all over the country tonight tuning in. We appreciate that.
Yeah, former St. John's Prep alum at Cornell, and then Mike McDonough and fans who are fans of yours at Charlottesville at UVA, Nick. You're doing it right.
Well, make sure your son's buddies are all liking and subscribing to the channel. That helps drive our traffic.
That's what
we
kids
appreciate
do.
It. Yeah, right. Meanwhile, we have here another whistle.
Getting chippy.
Yeah, a little bit of pushing there on the play. You're going to give this back to Bishop Guertin here. 25 seconds remaining.
Probably the only way to stay warm at this point. It's dropped 10 degrees.
It has. Cardinals looking for a final goal. Instead, it's Duplessis with what could be a final save, his 7th since halftime.
He's really shown he's a high-quality goalie.
Final seconds here, fourth quarter. It's going to be the 6th victory of the season for the St. John's Eagles under head coach John Pynchon as they continue to make their way through the MIAA schedule. They get an out-of-state win tonight, 14-7 over Bishop Guertin. 2 goaltenders, as you predicted. Both had major impact tonight. The defense looked good for the Eagles as well. And if you're Bishop Guertin, you're, I would assume, happy with the effort. Didn't lay down after falling behind early in the first half. Kept at it, chipped away, and in the end competed for 48 minutes.
Yeah, kind of similar to we saw Londonderry, and watching Derryfield pull away. But Londonderry stayed in the game. Same thing. I've coached 1,000 young boys and high school guys at pretty high levels. And, okay, you're getting beaten, but you don't quit. And they don't have any quit in these guys. And, again, it's their second game. I think they're going to take a bunch of things away positively. They're going to look at some of the stuff that went awry. And this is a heck of a coaching staff right there for Bishop Guertin.
Yeah.
And they're going to mechanically take it apart, and they'll put the guys back together again. And they have a tough schedule, too.
We'll recap it when we come back. You're watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
All right, final score, 14-7. St. John's a winner over Bishop Guertin in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. A good start for St. John's as they improved to 6-1. They scored the first 6 goals of the game. 4 of those came in the first quarter. All were unassisted. Ryan McCarthy, Beckett Lee, Ty Tolo, and then Josh Barton. Barton scored another to begin the second quarter to make it 5-zip. Then Grady Doherty added one, 6-0 at that point before Bishop Guertin seemingly came alive on the attack. Owen King, who had a hat trick tonight, got his first to get BG on the board. Will Quigley, though, had a quick answer for St. John's. 7-1 there, and then Paul Kaczynski, a couple of sophomores tonight playing well for Coach Pynchon. Kaczynski's goal made it 8-1. That was their largest lead of the first half. BG closes out the second quarter on a run of their own, just outside of 2 minutes. Drew Redfern, then Jack Redfern, then Hudson Schmidt gave the Cardinals a little bit of hope at the break. 8-4, our halftime score. Then third quarter, goaltending seemed to come to the forefront on both sides, as only 2 goals were scored, both by St. John's. Bo Minogue and Mac Crawford. 9-4, 10-4 at that point. We go to the fourth quarter, and the lead stretches as Barton gets his hat trick. We saw one from Brandon Ward to make it 12-4, and then King gets his second on an EMO for BG about midway through that fourth quarter. Quigley gets a second for St. John's to make it 13-5. Then Cam Hayden gets his first goal and lone goal for the Penn State commit. King gets the hat trick to make it 13-7. And inside the final 100 seconds, Minogue puts the cherry on top for St. John's. So all in all, 14-7 on the scoreboard, but certainly when you look at the team stats, Rich, BG more than held their own, including winning the face-off battle.
Yeah, 14-11. A couple were violations by the Eagles, but that's just part of the game.
Yeah.
The young guy, he did a really good job for BG. They had some good wing play, particularly in the second half.
That's the freshman Hugh Rourke.
Yeah, Hugh Rourke, excuse me. And I know his brother, teammate of my son. But also, you look at the ground ball battle, it was 16-15 in favor of BG.
Right.
And there weren't a whole lot of ground balls because we had a bunch of goals in flurries. So you only get the one ground ball off the face-off.
And both goaltenders.
Both goaltenders.
I shouldn't say both goaltenders. All 4.
All goaltenders, yes.
All 4 goaltenders tonight, 2 on each side, had their moments.
And, rough start in the BG cage, but credit the ridiculously accurate and fast shooting and ball placement. And they spread the love around there. But, Matthias Duplessis comes off. You're kind of cold in the second half, but his the save quality was just outstanding. And you and I got to talk about that this week because we saw some great goaltending this week.
We did.
And it lights up your team.
All right. Some final thoughts here, Rich, before we say goodbye, as both teams will pick things up next week with a tough schedule. By the way, for the Cardinals, they have St. Joe's, another out-of-state opponent. That's coming up tomorrow. And then they face the Manchester Co-op, Central and Memorial.
Then they got to go to Lincoln-Sudbury.
Then they go to Lincoln-Sudbury, another out-of-state opponent. And for St. John's, they got LaSalle tomorrow. Again, both teams on a quick turnaround. Then at Staples coming up on, I believe that's Sunday. Or no, that's Tuesday. Excuse me. Tuesday, they're at Staples down in Connecticut. And then they face Andover later in the week.
And Staples is a beast. I played prep ball down there, and that program is for real.
Nationally ranked, typically year in and year out. Staples, of course, is also on BG's schedule this year.
Correct.
As well. So another great broadcast, Rich. Appreciate you having us.
Oh, I love being with you. This is so much fun.
Number 201 tonight for Rich McDonough.
Right. I just hit the 200 mark the other last night with you.
So we appreciate having you along. Of course, our friends here, Cam and the folks at Merrimack College, making it very easy for us here. We appreciate the rollout. And, of course, our sponsors. That includes the New Hampshire Tomahawks, Beals Insurance, MG Sports Fundraising, and Jewett Construction. For our team here at Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, dual videographers, Matt Beals and Kristen Beals. Sharp as ever tonight. Appreciate that. And, of course, the whole thing orchestrated once again flawlessly by the man behind the curtain, the wizard of replay, our director, then Beals. Back in the Beals Insurance Studios. For executive producer Steve Beals and my partner Rich McDonough, my name is Nick Anastas saying so long. Final score, final time. St. John's 14, Bishop Guertin 7. This has been a presentation of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.